The Hollywood Iron Curtain has officially fallen, and the fallout is absolutely nuclear. What if I told you that the most exclusive guest list in billionaire history just became a certified war zone? Hold on to your seats because Kim Kardashian just broke her silence, and she is dropping bombs. The reality titan has finally revealed the shocking, cold-blooded reason why Blue Ivy Carter was officially, completely, and permanently barred from North West's milestone 13th birthday bash. We are talking about a total celebrity lockdown. No invite, no VIP access, and absolutely zero entry for music royalty into the Kardashian kingdom. For years we've watched the grown-ups play their petty games, but now, the kids are officially paying the ultimate price for this decade-long empire clash. Did Kim really pull the ultimate power move to protect North's spotlight? Or did Beyoncé's legendary, ultra-strict privacy demands push the reality TV queen straight over the edge? Rumors are flying, leaked texts are circulating, and the internet is in an absolute meltdown over this multi-million-dollar playground snub. This isn't just standard high society drama anymore, guys. This is a strategic, calculated industry excommunication that has permanently closed the border between the Carters and the Kardashians. Are you ready for the real unvarnished truth behind the most scandalous lockout of 2026? Grab your popcorn, smash that notification bell, and brace yourselves, because we are diving deep into the messy, chaotic, and downright ruthless reality of what actually went down behind closed mansion doors. The global entertainment landscape just witnessed its most explosive structural fracture yet, and the details leaking out of Calabasas are nothing short of a cultural earthquake. To truly comprehend the sheer magnitude of this celebrity excommunication, we have to dismantle the glossy facade of the Hollywood elite and look at the raw, unfiltered tension that has been brewing beneath the surface. Kim Kardashian did not just accidentally leave Blue Ivy's name off a digital invitation. Industry insiders are confirming that this was a deliberate, highly calculated boardroom decision made to safeguard the entire Kardashian-Jenner media infrastructure. For months, the public has been led to believe that the children of these two warring dynasties were somehow insulated from the toxic crossfire of their parents' historic feud. We watched from afar, assuming that the next generation would naturally bridge the gap created by years of adult pettiness. But this recent lockdown proves that the border between these empires is not just closed, it is heavily fortified. The official narrative surrounding North West turning 13 was supposed to be a celebration of a new teenage icon emerging into the limelight, but instead, it has transformed into a masterclass in public relations warfare and psychological strategy. When you look at the chess pieces currently on the board, the intense rivalry becomes blindingly obvious to anyone paying close attention to the modern entertainment machine. Blue Ivy Carter is not just a celebrity child. She is a literal Grammy winner who recently completed a historic, critically acclaimed run on the global Renaissance Stadium tour, cementing her status as an untouchable prodigy. On the other side of the tracks, you have North West, who is undeniably brilliant, chaotic, and a certified viral sensation, but whose career trajectory is deeply tied to the fast-paced, sometimes messy world of reality television and social media algorithms. According to deep-level Hollywood fixers and anonymous sources close to the Kardashian camp, the contrast between these two young figures created an operational nightmare that Kim Kardashian was simply unwilling to tolerate under her own roof. The internet has spent the last several years ruthlessly comparing these two young girls, creating an environment where every single movement, outfit, and performance is scrutinized by millions of critics worldwide. The dominant online narrative has frequently been weaponized against the Kardashian family, with critics claiming that while Kim meticulously purchases and engineers opportunities for North, Blue Ivy possesses an innate, genetically inherited stage presence that cannot be bought. This persistent, highly critical comparison reportedly reached a boiling point behind the scenes during the preparation for the high fashion circuit earlier this year. Rumors have been circulating through elite styling agencies that Kim Kardashian felt deeply slighted by the hierarchical treatment her daughter received compared to the Carter heiress. While Blue Ivy was reportedly being courted by top-tier European fashion houses for exclusive, solo red carpet appearances, North's ventures were being viewed by the traditional fashion elite as mere extensions of her mother's reality television brand. An anonymous source who claims to have worked directly on the logistics team for North's birthday celebration stated that the tension regarding this class divide was palpable throughout the entire planning process. The source alleged that Kim openly expressed frustration over the silent, nepotistic hierarchy that governs Hollywood elite circles, where old money music royalty looks down upon new money reality stars. The insider stated that Kim was fiercely determined to ensure that North's transition into her teenage years would be completely unshadowed by the heavy, almost regal aura that Blue Ivy carries wherever she goes. If you analyze the psychology of the Kardashian brand, everything is about controlling the narrative, dominating the headlines, and ensuring that the family remains the absolute center of gravity in any room they occupy. Bringing Blue Ivy into that space would have immediately shifted the media focus away from North's milestone moment and redirected the global press cycle toward the ongoing, unsolved mystery of the Carter-Kardashian dynamic. Kim Kardashian knows exactly how the tabloid industry operates because she helped build the modern blueprint for it, and she knew that the morning headlines wouldn't be about North's cake, her friends, or her music. They would be an analytical breakdown of Blue Ivy's body language. The public reaction to this unfolding narrative has already triggered a massive civil war across social media platforms, with fan bases on both sides drawing battle lines in the comment sections. Pro-Beyoncé factions are widely celebrating the lockout as definitive proof that the Carters exist on a completely different social stratum, arguing that Blue Ivy has no business associating with the chaotic world of reality television anyway. Meanwhile, supporters of the Kardashian family are fiercely defending Kim's right to protect her daughter's special day from being hijacked by the immense pressure and expectations associated with the Carter name. But the social media warfare is only the superficial layer of this multifaceted crisis, because when you dig deeper into the leaked operational reports, a much more clinical, transactional problem emerges. It turns out that the decision to bar Blue Ivy was not merely born out of emotional insecurity or parental protectiveness. It was heavily dictated by the strict legal boundaries and multi-million-dollar streaming contracts that govern the daily lives of the Kardashian clan. The family is currently locked into a massive, long-term production deal with the Disney-owned streaming platform, meaning that their entire lives are constantly monitored by professional camera crews. Every single major event, family gathering, and milestone celebration in the Kardashian household is meticulously storyboarded, filmed, edited, and packaged for global consumption as a core storyline for their reality series. This creates an immediate, insurmountable legal roadblock when dealing with the Carter family, because Jay-Z and Beyoncé have spent the last 2 decades enforcing an ironclad policy regarding the visual representation and commercial exploitation of their children. The Carters have a legendary reputation in the industry for demanding absolute control over every single frame of footage that features their likeness, and their legal team is notoriously uncompromising. According to industry insiders familiar with the network's production guidelines, Jay-Z and Beyoncé categorically refused to sign the standard, sweeping visual release forms required by the streaming platform's legal department. The Carters allegedly made it abundantly clear that under no circumstances would Blue Ivy's face, voice, or image be broadcast on a commercial reality television program to build a storyline for a rival family. This meant that if Blue Ivy were to attend the birthday party, the production crew would be forced to navigate an absolute logistical nightmare during the editing process. The network would have been legally obligated to manually blur out Blue Ivy's face in every single background shot, wide angle, and candid moment, treating one of the most famous teenagers in the world like an anonymous stranger or an uncredited extra. For a perfectionist like Kim Kardashian, the visual aesthetic of her television show is absolutely paramount, and having a heavily blurred entity moving through the background of her daughter's birthday episode would ruin the seamless, high-end production value she demands. Furthermore, the operational restrictions didn't stop with the television network's camera crews. They extended directly into the everyday social media usage of the party guests. Beyoncé's team reportedly enforces a strict, non-negotiable protocol specifying that if Blue Ivy is present at a private gathering, no attendee is permitted to post raw, unedited video footage of her on public platforms like TikTok or Instagram. In a modern teenage environment where Northwest and her peers communicate almost exclusively through rapid-fire, viral video uploads, enforcing a digital blackout for one specific guest would be completely impossible. Kim Kardashian reportedly realized that trying to police a room full of energetic, phone-wielding teenagers to protect the privacy mandates of the Carter family was an exercise in futility that would ultimately ruin the fun of the event. Rather than subjecting her staff to the agonizing headache of monitoring every single phone screen and risking a multi-million-dollar legal dispute with the Carter family's high-powered attorneys, Kim allegedly decided that the most efficient solution was to completely eliminate the problem at the root. This operational disconnect highlights the fundamental irreconcilable difference between how these two empires view the concept of modern fame and public visibility. The Kardashians view every real-life interaction as potential content to be monetized, traded, and broadcast to maintain their relevance, while the Carters treat their personal lives as an elite, premium luxury product accessible only to a chosen few. When these two opposing philosophies collide in a real-world setting like a 13-year-old's birthday party, the friction is enough to completely shut down communication lines. But as compelling as these legal, financial, and logistical explanations are, veteran Hollywood commentators are openly screaming that the streaming contracts and social media restrictions are merely a convenient excuse used to mask a much darker reality. The true, unvarnished reason Blue Ivy's name was never going to touch that guest list has absolutely nothing to do with teenage rivalries, camera crews, or digital blurred lines. The absolute fact of the matter is that the adults involved in this situation share a deep, historic, and completely unyielding animosity that has spent the last decade crossing every conceivable line of professional decorum and personal respect. The streets of the entertainment industry are talking louder than ever, and the consensus among top-tier media insiders is that the children are now officially paying the ultimate price for a grown-up war that began long before they were even old enough to understand it. You cannot physically ignore the weight of the history here, because the toxic blood between Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé is so deeply entrenched that it has permanently altered the social fabric of the Hollywood elite. To truly understand why the border is closed today, we have to look directly at the explosive catalyst that shattered this brotherhood beyond repair. To truly understand the depth of this systemic exclusion, we must analyze the spectacular collapse of what was once the most powerful brotherhood in the history of the music industry. The architectural foundation of this entire feud traces back to a time when Kanye West and Jay-Z were completely inseparable, operating not just as business partners, but as genuine family. Back in 2007, Kanye dedicated an entire track called Big Brother to Jay-Z, publicly cementing him as a mentor, an idol, and a lifelong protector. This absolute loyalty was put on global display during the infamous 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, when Kanye risked his entire career by storming the stage to declare that Beyoncé deserved the trophy over Taylor Swift. That singular, explosive moment proved to the entire world that Kanye was willing to burn down the industry just to protect the honor of the Carter family. By the time they released their historic collaborative project Watch the Throne in 2011, their bond seemed completely unbreakable, dominating global charts and filling stadiums worldwide. Jay-Z openly spoke about this intense dynamic in 2013, publicizing the fact that Kanye was truly his little brother, acknowledging that while they had intense creative disagreements, their love surpassed standard industry friendships. But beneath the surface of this musical brotherhood, a massive tectonic shift was occurring that would forever alter their trajectory. The turning point arrived when Kanye West transitioned from a solo bachelor into a major family unit by marrying Kim Kardashian, a move that reportedly did not sit well with the ultra-private, high society standards of the Carter empire. The first massive irreparable fracture occurred in 2014, during what was supposed to be the ultimate celebration of Kim and Kanye's union in Florence, Italy. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were noticeably absent from the wedding ceremony, an incredibly loud public snub that sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry. Kanye later confirmed during an emotional, 2-hour interview with Charlemagne the God that the absolute absence of the Carters deeply wounded him, stating that when it comes to real family, you simply do not miss a wedding, regardless of what you are going through behind closed doors. What made the situation infinitely worse for the newlywed couple was the absolute lack of an official explanation or private apology from the Carter camp regarding their absence. While the media attempted to spin the narrative by claiming the couple skipped the event due to a sudden family emergency, Beyoncé added fuel to the fire by posting a relaxed vacation selfie on social media that exact same day. This public display of complete indifference made it abundantly clear to Kim Kardashian that she was never going to be accepted into the elite, old-money social circle that Beyoncé closely guarded. The tension escalated from a Cold War into an absolute raging battlefield in 2016, following the highly publicized, traumatic armed robbery of Kim Kardashian in Paris. Kanye West expected his self-proclaimed big brother to reach out, show basic human empathy, and bring his children over to comfort the traumatized family. Instead, the phone remained completely silent, pushing Kanye to an absolute breaking point during a live performance on his St. Pablo tour in Seattle, where he stopped the music to publicly blast Jay-Z for his complete lack of loyalty. During that infamous unscripted stage rant, Kanye directly addressed Jay-Z from the catwalk, screaming that if a brother gets robbed, you do not simply call to ask how he is feeling from a safe distance. Kanye told the thousands of screaming fans in attendance that if Jay-Z truly cared, he would bring his kids by the house like real brothers are supposed to do. It was during this exact same live emotional breakdown that Kanye dropped the definitive truth bomb that explains the current situation, explicitly stating that their children had never played together even once. This public exposure of the internal family divide deeply angered the Carters, who pride themselves on maintaining absolute privacy and handling all internal disputes strictly behind closed doors. Jay-Z responded to the public call-out on his 2017 album 444, where he heavily criticized Kanye for bringing family matters into the public eye and disrespecting the collective brotherhood. From that exact moment onward, the relationship between the two iconic musicians completely withered away, leaving behind a cold, clinical professional distance. While the men were actively clashing over loyalty and respect, the dynamic between the two matriarchs was equally frosty, characterized by calculated politeness and icy industry interactions. Kim Kardashian frequently attempted to extend olive branches to Beyoncé in the early years, publicly praising her music and calling her the sweetest person in the industry during various media interviews. However, eyewitnesses behind the scenes at various high-profile events noted that the two women barely exchanged words when the cameras were turned off. During the legendary Watch the Throne tour, backstage insiders reported that Kim and Beyoncé operated in completely separate VIP dressing rooms, only standing near each other when the stadium lighting required them to project an image of unity for the cameras. The situation reached a level of absolute, unspoken disrespect when Kim reportedly attempted to bridge the gap by sending Beyoncé a highly exclusive, $150,000 gold box custom makeup contour kit following the birth of Beyoncé's twins. According to Hollywood gossip columns and industry insiders, Beyoncé allegedly did not even open the lavish gift, instructing her assistant to immediately hand the expensive package over to the hospital staff as a casual giveaway. This massive silent rejection sent a devastatingly clear message straight back to Calabasas. No amount of money, luxury products, or public praise would ever grant Kim Kardashian access to Beyoncé's inner sanctum. Kim reportedly felt deeply humiliated by this gesture, realizing that the class divide between reality television fame and music royalty was completely unbridgeable. As the years progressed, the nature of the feud shifted from passive-aggressive snubs into absolute, unfiltered public warfare, largely driven by Kanye West's increasingly chaotic public outbursts. Kanye began embarking on highly controversial media rants, openly accusing Jay-Z and Beyoncé of being heavily controlled by corporate industry masters who dictate their public moves. Kanye aggressively stated that he absolutely did not want his family associated with people who sacrificed their personal authenticity for corporate favor, effectively drawing a permanent line in the sand for his children. But the absolute breaking point, the moment that permanently guaranteed Blue Ivy would never step foot inside a Kardashian event, occurred when the attack shifted away from the adults and targeted the most vulnerable members of the family. Kanye West began making highly offensive, vulgar, and incredibly derogatory public remarks regarding the mental capacity and physical visibility of Beyoncé's younger twin children. For a mother like Beyoncé, who maintains an ironclad grip on her family's safety and digital footprint, this crossing of the line was an absolute point of no return. The disrespect did not stop with the children, because Kanye West then directed his public fury toward the matriarch of the Knowles family, Tina Knowles. Kanye began publicly posting elaborate conspiracy theories on social media, claiming that Tina Knowles was the ultimate puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes of the Carter empire. He suggested that she was responsible for creating the polished, elitist image that looked down upon his own family, turning the entire situation into a highly personal, multi-generational war of words. Months after these wild social media posts, Kanye escalated the situation to an entirely new level of public disrespect by collaborating with rapper The Game to create a highly provocative, unreleased track titled Tina. The entire song was specifically engineered to mock, humiliate, and publicly degrade Beyoncé's 71-year-old mother. Before the song even made it to production channels, Kanye flooded his personal Instagram account with highly offensive content designed to maximize the public embarrassment of the Knowles family. He shared highly controversial screenshots of digital conversations, using incredibly foul, derogatory language to describe Tina Knowles, while actively encouraging his followers to join in on the public humiliation. He then took digital video clips of Tina Knowles appearing on television talk shows, sampled her voice into a bizarre musical arrangement, and filmed a highly disturbing promotional clip featuring masked individuals. This was not just standard music industry competition. This was a deeply calculated, highly personal psychological attack designed to tear down the dignity of Beyoncé's mother. There is absolutely no universe in which Kim Kardashian could invite the daughter of the Carter family into her home, after the father of her own children spent an entire media cycle trying to publicly destroy that family's grandmother. Even though Kim and Kanye are no longer together, the residual damage from Kanye's actions has permanently stained the relationship between these two empires. The legal, emotional, and historical boundaries that have been erected between these families are far too high for a simple teenage birthday party invitation to tear down. The systemic fallout from this cross-generational warfare has now created a permanent geopolitical border within the landscape of the Hollywood elite. The structural reality of the situation dictates that the micro-drama of a teenage birthday party is merely the superficial manifestation of a much larger institutional crisis. Industry analysts and high-level entertainment fixers are pointing out that the corporate entities backing these two families are actively engaged in a silent war for absolute dominance over global youth culture. Every single move made by Kim Kardashian regarding her daughter's public associations is reviewed through a matrix of brand optimization, market share, and media metrics. Allowing the Carter heiress to enter the Kardashian domain would not just be a social interaction. It would be a massive commercial transaction that yields all the narrative leverage directly to the Carter family. The intense, competitive nature of the modern entertainment ecosystem means that two houses of this magnitude simply cannot occupy the same space without creating a destructive gravitational pull. Furthermore, deep-level sources within the major talent agencies suggest that the professional networks surrounding these two young girls are actively engineering a long-term rivalry that will define the next 2 decades of pop culture. Marketing experts point out that the teenage demographic is the most lucrative consumer base on the planet, and both camps are aggressively positioning their daughters to become the ultimate blueprint for this generation. North West is being systematically groomed to conquer the fast-paced, high-volume world of digital media, beauty branding, and viral lifestyle marketing, leveraging the massive distribution network of her family's media apparatus. Conversely, Blue Ivy Carter is being positioned as a rare, premium luxury asset within the entertainment world, utilizing a scarcity model that mirrors her mother's legendary approach to fame. By maintaining absolute privacy and only appearing in highly curated, prestigious artistic environments, the Carter camp creates a massive sense of exclusivity that traditional reality television stars can never replicate. When these two opposing marketing philosophies are forced to acknowledge each other, the internal friction triggers immediate defensive maneuvers from the respective management teams. Leaked memos from corporate consulting firms hint that the financial stakes tied to these family brands are far too high to allow personal sentiments to interfere with corporate strategy. The multi-billion-dollar valuation of the Kardashian-Jenner empire relies heavily on the perception that they are the absolute arbiters of cool, trendy, and aspirational luxury for the masses. If the public consistently witnesses their brand being secondary to the old-money, Grammy-winning prestige of the Carter dynasty, the long-term commercial impact on their consumer products could be catastrophic. This economic reality explains why Kim Kardashian chose to enforce an absolute, unyielding lockout rather than attempting to navigate a complicated compromise. The strategic preservation of North West's individual star power requires a completely controlled environment where her authority, style, and cultural relevance face zero internal competition. By completely closing the door on the Carter family, Kim ensures that her daughter remains the undisputed sovereign of her own cultural circle, completely free from the heavy shadow of music industry royalty. The institutional gridlock between the two camps has also heavily impacted the social dynamics of the wider Hollywood community, forcing other elite families to actively choose sides in this silent Cold War. High-profile executives, fashion designers, and media moguls are reportedly terrified of navigating the social minefield created by this permanent divide, knowing that inviting both families to the same ultra-exclusive gathering could result in immediate professional retaliation. The border is so strictly enforced that prominent industry players must meticulously curate their guest lists to ensure that the two factions never cross paths under any circumstances. This intense societal pressure has effectively trickled down to the younger generation, creating a reality where the peers of both North and Blue are hyper-aware of the invisible lines they are forbidden to cross. The children of the Hollywood elite are growing up in an environment where social alliances are treated like corporate mergers, and a single unauthorized social media post can jeopardize a multi-million-dollar family contract. The total absence of Blue Ivy from North's milestone celebration sends a clear, definitive signal to the entire industry that the division is absolute and permanent. As the public backlash continues to intensify across global communication networks, legal experts are also weighing in on the potential long-term contractual implications of this historic separation. Attorneys specializing in entertainment law point out that the restrictive covenants regarding visual media presence will only become more complex as both teenagers enter the commercial marketplace as independent entities. The refusal of the Carters to engage with standard reality television production formats means that any shared public space will always carry a heavy threat of litigation and contractual breach. The structural impossibility of a reconciliation is made even more evident when examining the deep, unresolved psychological trauma that still exists between the adult participants of this decade-long war. The public insults, corporate betrayals, and deeply personal attacks against family matriarchs have created a toxic residue that no public relations campaign can clean up. The adults involved have reached an unspoken consensus that the most peaceful path forward is absolute, total avoidance, ensuring that their respective empires operate in completely separate parallel universes. This parallel existence means that while both families will continue to dominate the global cultural narrative, they will do so without ever intersecting, creating a fascinating duplication of power within the entertainment industry. The media landscape is now large enough to sustain two distinct, non-communicating superpowers, each ruling over their own massive loyal fanbase with completely different methodologies of influence. The lockout at Calabasas was not the start of a new conflict. It was the final, definitive stabilization of a long-standing structural division that will endure for generations. The ultimate reality of this situation is that the boundaries are now set in stone, and the dream of a unified Hollywood super dynasty has been permanently shattered by the harsh realities of corporate ambition and personal animosity. The children will continue to rise through the ranks of global stardom, carving out their own unique legacies under the watchful eyes of their fiercely protective mothers. The closed border between the Carters and the Kardashians stands as a powerful monument to the sheer scale of the war that was fought behind the scenes of the modern entertainment machine. So there you have it, the absolute unfiltered truth behind the most shocking celebrity lockout of the decade. The lines have been drawn in the Hollywood sand, the corporate empires have locked their gates, and the era of polite industry smiles is officially dead and buried. Now, I want to hear directly from you guys because the internet is already in a state of absolute chaos over this historic excommunication. Do you think Kim Kardashian made the right executive decision to protect her daughter's milestone press cycle from being completely hijacked by the Carter name? Or do you believe that penalizing the kids for the toxic, unhinged mistakes of the adults is the ultimate display of high society pettiness? Is it genuinely sad that Blue Ivy and Northwest are being forced to live in parallel universes? Or is this just the ruthless reality of protecting a multi-billion-dollar modern media empire? Drop your thoughts, your wildest theories, and your unfiltered commentary in the section below, because you already know the comment section is about to become a certified war zone. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get the absolute truth on the most explosive scandals rocking the entertainment industry, make sure to smash that like button right now. Do not forget to hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell, so you never miss a single piece of breaking truth. Thank you for watching, stay sharp, and we will see you in the next one.